At least 84 people are dead in Nice, France, following an attack on the Bastille Day celebrations. That number is expected to rise. The man responsible? Lahouaiej-Bouhlel. The true culprit, radical Islam. You see, this Muhammad is not unlike any other number of Muhammads responsible for very similar attacks. The death toll in the tens of thousands around the world, just in the last few years, because of Islamic terrorism. And we need to acknowledge it as such. Not everyone does, though. CBC, Canada's state broadcaster, getting $1.5 billion in subsidies, does coverage of this the night that it happens, and they call it a truck attack. Not an attack by a terrorist, not even an attack that used a truck, but a truck attack. Blaming the implement, just like we see so often from the left, including the CBC, when something involves a firearm. It's the gun that's responsible, not the person. But then it got even worse. In later coverage by CBC, they referred to the attack as a terrorist attack. Not a terrorist attack, but a terrorist gunman. They wouldn't say that it was terrorism. They would only use as cover that some other people had called it a terrorist attack, and therefore they could just quote them instead of having to have the gall to do it themselves. So here we have Barack Obama, the U.S. president, calling this terrorism. We have the president of France calling this terrorism. We have the United Nations even calling it terrorism. But the CBC can't deign to do that itself. I am sick and tired of Nice becoming the new normal. I am sick and tired of these attacks on innocent civilians, including children, no longer being surprising. I am sick and tired of it. Je suis Paris, je suis Nice, je suis Brussels. No, je suis fed up. I am fed up about this, but moreover, I'm fed up at the people in the left and the West that refuse to call terrorism what it is, terrorism, that refuse to acknowledge there is an ideology behind this. Canada's state broadcaster, which is supposed to report the news, will not identify that this attack is a terrorist attack. And as a listener pointed out to me, how many lone wolves does it take before we can call them a pack? I think that's the real question here. And more importantly, how much will it take for people to pay attention? How much will it take for people to pay attention and recognize who and what the enemy is? When we see blames of the truck, when we see any number of other culprits identified, but the real one, this is not about just wait and see. This is not about let the facts unfold. This is a willful ignorance and a willful rejection of the truth. Is it political correctness? Maybe. Is it bad journalism? Maybe. But surely we can agree by now, if nothing else, it is detrimental and dangerous to Western society. So there are no air quotes around terrorism. This is a terrorist attack, and there will be more if we don't combat it. For the Rebel.media, I'm Andrew Lawton.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.